An Alabama mother went viral following a violent tantrum that she threw at the Miami International Airport after losing sight of her two young children. The incident, which took place in December of 2022, began after 25-year-old Camilla McMillie realized her children weren't with her while she was checking in for a connecting American Airlines flight. A witness later told the media that the woman went into panic mode as she started screaming and ordering an airline worker to go look for her children. McMillie's outburst culminated with her tearing items off a counter and throwing a computer at the gate agent, which hit them and caused bruising. She was later determined to have inflicted roughly $10,000 worth of damage to airport property. Her children were eventually located after they'd walked off to use the restroom without telling her. McMillie was initially detained by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agents before she was arrested by the police. She was charged with aggravated battery, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. McMillie was interviewed by a media outlet following her release from custody on Christmas Eve and apologized for her behavior. Number 8. Marquise Burks.
Are you afraid to go?
Yeah, what?
They say the Chicago woman would not go peacefully.
She was charged with one count of tampering for every time she hung up the phone when they were trying.
After she was kicked out of a Miami Beach hotel in May of 2021, a Chicago woman visiting South Florida refused to go peacefully and threw a temper tantrum that ended in her arrest. After getting into an argument with the employees of the Paloma Hotel, she went behind the reception desk. Burks knocked over clear dividers that had been put in place because of the coronavirus pandemic and started striking the employees with her fists. She hung up the hotel's phone several times as the workers attempted to call law enforcement. When they finally arrived at the scene, Burks reportedly told the officers that she would have hit them too if not for their official position. She was arrested on charges that included tampering, one count for each time she'd hung up the phone, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. Number 7. Ellie Wayne. On June the 1st of 2020, English teenager Ellie Wayne and her boyfriend, Kieran Brown, got into an argument at the home they shared in Willenhall, Coventry. 18-year-old Wayne, who had a history of anxiety and depression, demanded that Brown leave the residence. It would emerge that she'd been drinking and smoking cannabis earlier in the day. Wayne then attacked her boyfriend with a kitchen knife outside their home in what was later described as a fit of temper because things weren't going her way. One of the knife strikes pierced Brown's heart, and he was rushed to the hospital where he died soon after his arrival at around 10 p.m. Following her arrest, Wayne was interviewed by law enforcement and told them that she never loved anyone as much as she'd loved Brown. She subsequently tried claiming self-defense in court, but a witness reported that Wayne had told them she'd taken the knife with the intention of stabbing anyone who came near her. The teenager was found guilty of murder in December of 2020 and given a life sentence with a minimum of 17 years served. Number 6. Tara Palmer Tomkinson. In 2014, at around Christmas, British socialite Tara Palmer Tomkinson was arrested by 8 armed police officers at London Heathrow Airport. The former model, who had a documented history of drug and alcohol addiction, was flying out to an exclusive ski resort in Switzerland to celebrate her upcoming birthday. At some point as she was waiting for her flight, Palmer Tomkinson started screaming at people in the lounge, and the police were called when she tried to run back through security. The ensuing interaction was captured on video, and it showed her arguing with 2 officers. As the socialite's frustration increased, amid a string of profanities directed at the police, she ripped off pieces of her own hair extensions and threw them at the officer's feet. Palmer Tomkinson then hurled her coat on the ground as a 3rd officer moved towards her. 5 more officers then arrived and worked to restrain and handcuff the enraged socialite. The media would initially report that the 42-year-old threw a tantrum after she'd been refused access to British Airways' first-class lounge. Palmer Tomkinson vehemently denied that version of events on social media and claimed that she'd become distressed upon seeing people taking pictures of her and hearing them laugh about her behind her back. She recounted that she'd become upset and eventually lost her temper after a man had approached her and said, "You are not fit to travel, you are crying." The woman, initially arrested for using threatening, abusive or insulting words or behavior or disorderly behavior, was believed to have been cautioned and released without charge. she reportedly booked another flight to Switzerland a day later. Number 5. Tong Xiaohua. A Chinese police chief was fired in mid-August of 2019, roughly 2 weeks after his wife had been captured on video attacking another motorist during a road rage meltdown in the city of Chongqing. The clip, which was extensively shared online, showed Li Yu confronting the driver in question after he'd blocked her red Porsche when she attempted to make an illegal U-turn on a pedestrian crossing. Further information revealed that Li, who was wearing a designer outfit, mocked the unnamed man for having a beggar's car before slapping him across the face without warning. He retaliated with a slap of his own, and the strike resulted in Li's hat flying off her head and towards a bystander who was recording the incident on their phone. More footage later surfaced of Li as she was bragging about how she'd managed to avoid legal punishment for running red lights, speeding, and other violations. Following the incident, Chongqing police revealed that she'd been fined for making the illegal turn, in addition to having points deducted from her license for wearing shoes and a hat deemed unsafe for driving. The authorities then launched an investigation into the woman's husband, Chief Tong Xiaohua, who was eventually fired for disciplinary violations. It wasn't officially disclosed if the termination of his employment had been related to the road rage incident, but many online users suspected that had been the case. Number 4. Walmart Karen. In December of 2022, an unidentified Texas woman was filmed during a Walmart confrontation with a police officer. The specifics of the interaction weren't disclosed, but the woman, who was subsequently dubbed Walmart Karen on social media, was seen standing next to an overturned stand, and it was suspected that she'd caused a scene while inside the store. As tensions escalated, the woman demanded that the cop respect her while he ordered her to get down on her knees. He then fired a taser, striking the belligerent woman between the neck and chest. She let out a shriek before falling straight back to the ground. She then rolled onto her stomach and was tasered again while being ordered to place her hands behind her back. The police officer shocked her a third time before she was finally subdued. It wasn't made immediately clear if she was charged with a crime or only escorted out of the building. Number 3. Karen Worley Drake. Florida woman Karen Worley Drake was arrested in the fall of 2013 in Dunnellon, Marion County, after she failed sobriety tests and became aggressive towards law enforcement. A sheriff's deputy had initially noticed Drake's SUV parked halfway onto Southwest 129th Terrace Road. The deputy saw the 51-year-old and her dog inside the vehicle and, upon approaching it, asked her to open the door. A strong smell of alcohol emanated from the SUV, and Drake was found naked from the waist down. The deputy noticed some pants in the vehicle and asked the woman to dress herself. Drake then failed sobriety exercises and refused to take a breathalyzer test. When she was told that she was under arrest for DUI, she became aggressive and briefly struggled with the deputy. She was taken to Marion County Jail on a $1,000 bond, while her pet was placed in the custody of the county's animal services. Police records indicated that the incident marked Drake's second DUI offense. Number 2. Nushin Norbakush. In November of 2022, a woman dubbed DC Karen by online users went viral after she was recorded directing a racially charged tirade at an Uber driver. The incident unfolded on November the 23rd when the woman, whom social media users identified as Nushin Norbakush, lost her temper over a phone charger. She began bombarding the Uber driver, a black man, with a series of slurs as they stood on a Cathedral Heights street in the U.S. Capitol. 2 videos surfaced in the aftermath, one taken by the driver and another by a resident on the street. Norbakush was recorded calling the man illiterate, schizophrenic, and a slave. While the driver was recording her, he said, "Hey Karen, you're going to be all over the internet as a racist woman." The woman then suggested that he didn't like her because she was white and he wasn't, before also calling him the N-word several times in a row. Norbakush was banned from using the Uber app in the verbal attack's wake, but it wasn't made immediately clear if she'd face criminal charges. Number 1. Karen Canwell. Off-duty police constable Karen Canwell was at the King Edward VII pub in the market town of Rushden, Northamptonshire, England, on December the 11th of 2021. A fracas erupted inside the establishment under unspecified circumstances, and the conflict eventually moved into the street. As it unfolded, Canwell struck a member of door staff in the chest twice. Canwell's colleagues were consequently called to the scene and took her into custody. She denied common assault in court but was found guilty of it in November of 2022 and was fined nearly $2,000. As of the latest information on the incident, Northamptonshire Police launched a misconduct investigation, and Canwell faced being terminated from the force. Up until the pub incident, she was a respected member of law enforcement who'd been nominated for a National Bravery Award in 2019. During a suspected acid attack that had occurred in Northampton, Canwell ignored the injuries she'd suffered in order to help other victims. Thanks for watching. Would you rather be scolded by an angry Karen or have to fend off a pack of enraged chihuahuas? Let us know in the comments section below.